Hello and welcome to another weekly Circle Light Movement live from us. I'm Lucy Brand.
Hi there, and I'm Natasha Harris. Welcome to this week's Chit Chat. Can't wait to have this one. It's going to be powerful, huh?
Yeah, so we're the co-founders of the Circle of Light movement, which is a movement to create unity and love in the world. That's what we are all about, and that's what I'm quite excited about. Well, we pull a card. We do pull a card to kind of see what wants to come through, and then Natasha and I channel on what wisdom wants to come through from our
Oh,
guides and source.
yes.
And so today is on karmic relationships, healing karmic relationships. And I don't think we've done a topic on karmic relationships before. So I'm
No.
really, really excited about this. And I can feel lots of things brewing as well. Because there is, if we're going to look at karmic relationships, what comes from that is, conflict, contrast, maybe a little bit of resistance. So they're
Oh,
kind of
yes.
quite meaty things to get into today that might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. But where there is uncomfortableness, there is growth, which is what we're
Yes.
all about. So I'm just going to share out to a couple of pages and hand over to Natasha.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. So, yeah, my goodness, karmic relationships, uncomfortable and growth. I love that because, I think for me, it's like where there's discomfort, where there's something that we're walking into that's a little bit uncomfortable, we have a real opportunity to grow. And I think relationships is the area that I think we can grow the most, not just through romantic relationships, but through friendships, through partnerships like Lucy and I. We have grown an awful lot in the year and a half that we've known each other. Oh my goodness, like it's been exponential. It's been like quantum growth through what we've done. Hasn't always been uncomfortable, but we've been faced with our own discomfort and how we move through that, and the healing on the other side. Oh my goodness, what a shift, what an absolute shift. So karmic relationships sometimes we think can only be uncomfortable, but actually there is a huge amount of healing that can occur with that, and it's not just about conflict and polarity.
And I think also not sometimes the healing could be confidence. I know that like
Mm.
partnering with Natasha has really helped me, well, in millions of ways I didn't even know about, but also with my boundaries, with my feeling confidence in able to speak up. Because one of my I guess you would call it limiting beliefs or little things that would come up for me is I would always give my power away to women because I would feel inferior. So Natasha's really helped me, whether she knows it or not, to really like speak up for myself. If I've said, actually, that doesn't feel good to me. And because if you know anything about us, everything we do is got to feel good. It's got to feel good. And we not only share that with the Circle Light Movement community, with our clients, but we live that, we really live that. And so it's really helped me to step into my power as a leader and be like, actually, no, this is what I feel, this is what I think, and open a discussion there. And that's the thing, with healing karmic relationships, if we come at it from a defensive place or from a wounded place, it's not going to be, there is going to be conflict there. Whereas if we can come openly with compassion and love and curiosity and exploration, that I'm already getting excited about those, just saying those words. Like that's where the excitement happens. That's where that's where the growth happens with through love, not growth through hard work, suffering, which we're definitely not about.
Oh,
Morning,
good
Philippa.
no. Let's leave that at the door. Recognize if it shows up. Let's, recognize if the hard work and the suffering shows up. Hi, Philippa. Lovely to see you here with us. It's not about that. It's about recognizing where that shows up. What is there to learn and grow and move through karmically within that relationship. I love what you said, Lucy, about the confidence to speaking up and the power and the leadership that's involved in that. I've actually been talking a lot about that in the last couple of weeks, but this element of being able to speak up honestly, openly, with what your heart desires. This is where relationships reflect something back to us so clearly, so loudly, that we have in ourselves to move through into confidence, to speak up, to say what's on our mind with love, with compassion, with kindness, as an offering, and to understand that actually we are all unique and different, and that somebody else may have a completely different point of view, and that we love them for that difference in point of view, where everything in the world at the moment is so polarized. There seems to be no middle ground. It's either far extreme to the left, far extreme to the right, and how we can actually come together to say, you have a differing of opinion to me, but I love you anyway, but here's my offering. Here's my contribution to this, and where can we agree, where can we disagree, and how do we move forward in that? This is how we heal lifetimes upon lifetimes upon lifetimes of relationships, and how we move into a very different relational space with all of those around you. We are a global community of 8 billion people. Like, how do we coexist within all of these differences of opinions? I think the world needs this conversation more than any other time in history. We are so we are encouraged to be disconnected, and how do we come together despite our differences?
And yeah, I just want to add to that as well. Like, and I also loved as an offering, what can you come with? That's such a beautiful way of looking at things. And just, yeah, like there was a 1 billion% chance you were born you. Like I've said this before. So if you really think about that, the uniqueness of you, you're not going to have the same thoughts, feelings, behaviors, opinions as others in the world. It's just not possible because you're that special and that unique. It's awesome. And then also tie in, so my understanding of karmic relationships bought from different lives, if you are into that thing in past lives, then we tend to circle the same souls. So what that means is, for example, I know that in this lifetime, my mom in this lifetime was actually my wife, and I was a man in that time in another lifetime. And so there's some things that we've brought with us, that karma, into this relationship, into this timeline, that I'm conscious of, and we want to work through together, like whether my mum's conscious of it or not. Like, I'm conscious of it, so I'm going to take the responsibility to be compassionate and loving and understanding, because I'm quite different to the way the rest of my family is, the way I think and the way I the things I believe about the world to be true are not necessarily held by the same opinions of my parents and my family. But it's like, how can I do that with love? Because I love them to pieces. I want to hang out with them. I want to spend time with them. So I've got to bring a lot of compassion and love to the table so that it doesn't result in a conflict. And one of us saying, I'm leaving the house right now because I don't want to speak to you. Like, that's what we want to avoid. And I feel that the greatest lessons and sometimes the greatest invitations for compassion and love is actually with our family. And that is because they're the same souls circling around. So you might just not have learned that lesson in the other lifetime. So it's come again for you to do it again in this lifetime. And I feel if you come at it with that humor as well, it does really help.
Yeah, I totally agree. We have to hold things so much more lightly around these things, and how we can, who do you want to be in that relationship? How do you want to show up? How do you want to show up in a way that you would be proud of yourself looking in as an outsider, that actually, you know what, you didn't have all the tools and you dealt with that as best as you could at the time. But how could you maybe do that differently next time, that you could be even more proud of yourself? I often hear so often, it's like, why do I have to do all the work? And I get that. I felt that too. It's like Lucy said about, other people not being conscious in that part of it, but we are conscious. And so how do we do that? And we're not perfect at it. I've got totally wrong many times in the past, but my desire to change it outweighs, my fear of changing it. I think, I'm the fear of stepping up and into a relationship, be that romantic or with family or with friends, and being honest from a place of love and compassion is so different. And I can say that the person that's going to benefit is you, because the other person in that relationship, as you come at it consciously with a view to changing it, healing what's coming up for you, and a desire to show up differently, however that might be, you get to change it for them. Their energetic resonance in that relationship has to change as well. But you reap all the benefits, and you can see the benefits. You're like, yay, jumping up and down in joy. Looking, oh my God, look at that change that just happened. That thing, that pattern we kept playing out, that's changed. And they might notice it further down the line, but you get to experience all the joy of that shift and that change and that growth and that expansion consciously. So yes, it might be tougher because we've got to do that work. We've got to take the responsibility, but it's up to us to do that. And I tell you, the rewards on the other side will blow you out the water. The quantum leaps, the changes, and how that ripples out into every aspect of your life, work, business, health and well-being, your stress and anxiety levels, everything will shift, even if that's in a tiny percentage of a trajectory shift. It'll be exponentially big.
Yeah, I completely agree. And also, like, it brings you closer. And the thing is, we are all one. Like, it's all about unity, and it's the ego. I love the ego, it's got a place, but the ego wants to separate us and like keep us separate. So the more conflict and the more polarizing, the more the ego's winning, if you like. Whereas actually, if you search inside yourself, we are all one. We are all here to unite. And sometimes the best and the most beautiful conversations come out of, and connection come out. Like, I know that recently I had me and my mum had different views on something, and it was actually a massive misunderstanding on both of our parts. And so we had the most beautiful conversation about it, and it was amazing. Like, we really connected on a deeper level, and there was so much love there. And I completely realized where I'd had behaviors from a teenager that I was now carrying through into my 30s and that were playing out. And so it was like, I then had the utmost compassion for my mum. And so we kind of said, we really want to have more conversations like this, connect more like this, and in this way, so that we can heal our relationship and have, me and my mum have a great relationship, but like make it even better. Because you don't want to settle. No one wants to settle. Like, we want beautiful relationships with those around us, because we can't choose our family. Well, we do choose our family on the other side, but you know, we are stuck with our family, if that's how we're going to put it. But we can choose our friends. So no one wants to live in discomfort. No one wants to live in feeling unhappy or sad or just unheard, unloved, unseen. So why not look to healing these relationships, so that you can bring the unity in the family unit, or whether that's with friends that maybe you've lost touch with. I think also giving some love and compassion. I know that a friend of mine, we haven't really spoken for a while, and I was a bit like, oh, I wonder what's going on there, but I didn't want to put any pressure on. But then for me, in my head, I'm thinking, oh, maybe I've done something wrong, maybe I've said something. And then I got this beautiful message out the blue, just sharing that she's actually got a lot on that's nothing to do with me, nothing to do with what my ego wanted to make it about. And then we had this beautiful conversation, and I just had so much love and compassion for her. So sometimes it's about just reaching out and just being like, hey, is something going on? Or can we chat? Like, are you okay? Just for selfishly, but so your own mind and ego doesn't make it about you. And you use that to beat yourself up with. Second guessing people never works. Just have a
Oh my gosh, it really, really, truly doesn't. I mean, it might sound a bit harsh, but we always make it about us. It's like, but we are all going through something. We are all going through something. So where we can extend that compassion, that love, that connection with somebody to say, hey, haven't heard from you in a while, I'm thinking of you, just sending you some love, if you need anything, I'm here, I kind of miss you, or I miss you, so they know. And if they choose not to come, then it's like it's still something going on for them. What it reflects back to us is where we need to reassure ourselves that we're doing what we can, we're doing the best that we can only meet it with love and connection. We can feel the disappointment that someone's moved away from us, but don't make it about us. Don't make it about us. There is so much conflict that is going on right now, and most of it isn't actually real. Most of it is going on in our heads.
Yeah.
The conflict that we experience between relationships or someone else, most of it is not real. So how do you flip that around? How do you change that around? So let us know if you're watching on the replay, like type #replay. Let us know how this is kind of impacting you. What message from this are you really getting from this? Because as I'm talking and I'm receiving information around this, there's moments of dawning that I'm getting. So I hope you're getting those too. And if you're watching, let us know if you've got any questions, tag us. How is this showing up for you? What is there that you want to shift and change around your karmic relationships in your experience right now? Everything has a karma, everything has an effect and is going around the system. So what is there for you to do? But recognize that most of the stuff that you perhaps are thinking that's in conflict, in polarity, in difference, in misunderstanding is probably going on in your head.
Yeah, and also then it's a time to reflect and think, well, where's this gap in me? Where am I feeling incomplete? Where am I not feeling whole? Where am I maybe showing up in neediness? And that really makes you feel uncomfortable to even say that word.
Yeah.
So where is that happening? Where is there feeling incomplete, or you're needing something from someone else to feel fulfilled? And there is no judgment here, because I think the last couple of years have been crazy. So I know for me, one of mine is eating. So if I'm feeling chaotic, if I'm feeling out of control, if I'm feeling incomplete, then I reach to the fridge. And so then that's a sign for me to be like, what can I do? How else can you self-soothe? What activities can you do to have a bath? Sorry. For me, it would be have a bath instead of reaching for the fridge, because that makes me feel whole and complete. Just being at peace with myself in the bath. So yeah, what is it that you could do? Where in your life are you feeling incomplete? Where in your relationships are you not getting what you need to feel whole and complete? And then looking at that and being like, okay, so what is it actually within me? Flip that back on yourself, not in a judgment way, not in a beating yourself up way, but just looking back into yourself and be like, oh, with love and compassion, oh, maybe I need some more time out. Maybe I need some more time in nature. Actually, maybe I need to journal some more of this stuff out, because that was traumatic, that caused me pain, and I haven't let it go yet. And that's why I'm looking to someone else to fix it for me.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff. And so it's really, how do we, what does this karmic relationships mean for you? What do you feel, if you look at yourself right now, what relationship needs a little bit of attention, needs a little bit of inner reflection, needs you to, or you desire to shift something within that relationship? Perhaps it's just got stale. Maybe it's with a relationship that's, all very good on the outside and on the surface, but actually something like a spark that's disappeared or something that's shifted. And actually, what do you want to do? And how do you want to change that? Where can you show up differently? And how do you want to show up within that? There's so much to look at around this. This is a huge topic for sure. But yeah, if this resonates with you and you've got questions, then please do let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear how this is, how this resonates with you.
I also get something to just share as well. This is just mine and Natasha's offering to you, I can't speak for Natasha, but I don't know if I have this right. No one knows if they have this right. It's just their perception. So this is just our wisdom that we channel. But if I look at it from a universal point of view, the human consciousness, I probably understand 3%, like the universe, because our human consciousness is so small compared to other beings. We can't handle it. Like that's why, like time is a human construct, because we need things in linear, otherwise poof, our brains explode. These are just like offerings to us from bits that we've experienced, wisdom we've channeled, which we are happy to share with you. So hopefully you can draw your own understandings. You can draw your own way of doing things. Like it really is about finding your way of living your life. And the way you do that is through a compass of what feels good to you.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Like all my books on my bookshelf, like collected over and like several rows of them and other bookshelves in the house. It's like I've taken bits from each of those that have felt resonant to me and figured out how that applies to me, how that works for me. So even if you take one thing from today that go, oh yeah, that really zings in my body somewhere, and just try it on, play with it, see what else works for you. There is no right and wrong. That's where we live in a world of polarity where people are right, people are wrong, and everything else in the middle doesn't exist. This is about really finding your unique spark. How do you want to show up in a relationship? How do you want to do it? Everyone is different. There are even relationship marriages. Look at the infinite ways that we are now given permission to do relationships. You get to choose that. That's your right. You get to choose how you do it that feels good for you and for your partner and for whoever else is involved. That's the beauty of being alive today, I believe. So yeah, thank you for watching and listening.
And we shall see you next Thursday. Yeah, we will see you next Thursday. Have a great week and so much love.
Yeah, see you then. Thanks so much. Bye.